Round 2 of today's tournament. For red team, we have Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan bringing the Fairy Moth. Artemis Gatling Squid with a Weird Light Flak, piloted by Mirwin. Their ally is the GFA Dicidicus. Stormbreaker, Light Carronade at the front, Watcha Gatling with a Banshee. Their opponents, Skyborne Rangers, have the Stromsunder, another Stormbreaker, Gatling, Watcha, Artemis, and Light Flak. And finally, their ally, the Snortstoop Bopstop, Judgment, piloted by Delorum, Lumberjack, Mercury, Light Flak, and the Minotaur. So, Fairy Moth bringing an interesting build here. We do not see, since the introduction of the Stormbreaker, we have not seen a lot of squids in these competitive matches. I think it just, at a certain point, Muse has added so many new ships with heavy weapons that it doesn't make sense to really bring a ship that can only bring, it only gets, let's say, 1.5 guns in arc at any given point. And honestly, if you're bringing a fast mobile ship in 2018 and it doesn't have a watch in it, what are you even doing? But Fairy Moth opting instead to have access to the Artemis on the front of their ship, which, I mean, consider that. If you're planning to play a close-range aggressive style, consider the firepower difference between an Artemis and a Hwacha during a close-range battle. You know, it's an interesting choice for sure. And red team will certainly have, because they have a dual fast ship team composition, will definitely have a better, more opportunities to be able to move around the map and potentially refocus targets more easily, try to split them up, which is kind of what we're seeing here. Fairy Moth does have the rear of the Snortstoop Bopstop, and you saw they're good, they're using the rear Light Flak as well. So it's possible the squid is just here to abuse the low mobility of the Judgment, because even if, wow, look at that solo kill. Fairy Moth, the ship choice here actually paying off, at least at the beginning of the match. Even though you don't have the firepower of a Stormbreaker, it's going to be a little bit easier to stay in the rear of that Judgment. Squid is a little bit more mobile than a Stormbreaker is, so assuming if they can continue, if Legio Lepidoptera can continue to engineer situations where they get to take 1v1 fights between the Squid and the Judgment, they can win those pretty easily. Now, Dicidicus, they were able to keep the Stromsunder in check, but they took a lot of damage in the process. You see, already at a sliver of health. So if they lose their armor to pretty much anything, Stromsunder now moving up, I think, for the dual focus. Skyborne Rangers, they know Dicidicus is very heavily damaged from the last fight, and they want this kill, but Dicidicus has flown over the Judgment, and Judgment's too slow, not going to be able to reposition, and wow, Fairy Moth able to get another kill. I'm going to take a look at Dicidicus here really quickly. Maybe some Banshee shots coming out from the Stormbreaker. So honestly, I'm surprised at how well this the Squid ship choice is working here. Because I remember we saw last week Glowwater Thralls bringing a Squid in a similar situation. Or, well, not really a similar situation. Bringing against two faster ships. And just were not able to keep up as far as the damage. I believe it was a Gatling Banshee Squid that Mighty Kib was flying. But here with the Artemis, and I think this is going to be a kill on the Dicidicus, hopefully for blue team. Stormbreaker has lived long past it to do here. Fairy Moth moving back in with the Artemis. Gatling as well. Armor is down on the Stromsunder, but nobody's in position to capitalize. Light Flak on the rear of the Squid. Not going to be an arc. But here comes some... Well then. Oh, there's... Okay, another kill on the Stormbreaker. This is really impressive from Triple L. But at the same time, I feel like Snortstoop has just been doing nothing in any of these engagements. So I'm really not sure. Like, blue team has just been I guess it's the dual. It's the speed advantage that Legio Lepidoptera has access to here. Is they've just been able to stay out of the Snortstoop's gun arcs. You see Dicidicus, they still have just so little health, but every time Judgment's about to unload a volley of medium to long range fire on the red Stormbreaker, they're just able to duck away, fly over the Judgment. Judgment can't reposition quickly enough to maintain those gun arcs, and they're just stuck out of the fight. Just superior positioning from red team. And I guess if you're positioning, if you have better positioning in every fight, then the trade-off, losing a little bit of firepower, it can still work. And they're definitely, Triple L is definitely proving that today in this match. I'm surprised at how well this is working. And now Snortsuit, Bobstop, and Strom Thunder have spawned in, taking the eastern part of the map. I would think Snortsuit is probably... You see them rising up here, trying to get some spots on red. Probably going to want to try to stay as far back as possible and make it very difficult for either of the red ships to get behind them. Because once that happens, it's kind of... If the Storm Thunder is not in a position to chase away the target that's flanking the Blue Judgment, then it's kind of game over. And this is also some interesting positioning from Red Team. They've split up here, and they're playing it very slowly, maintaining these low positions below the clouds. So Blue Team, currently unaware of the positioning. Squid might be spotted here in just a moment. And we might be seeing a pincer style play with the two red ships coming in from totally different directions, and if Blue's unable to get the second spot here, they might be caught surprised at what's about to happen to them. Disidicus still at very low health, so they still have to be pretty careful here. They have a 4-0 lead, but Guns of Icarus is a game where you can definitely... All it takes is two big mistakes in fights, and then suddenly your 4-0 lead turns into a tied-up game with both teams on match point. They definitely don't want to, Lepidoptera, definitely don't want to rush into this next fight. Now, both blue ships are spotted. Ferrymoth as well. Disidicus is not. Disidicus' location is still unknown to the Skyborne Rangers. Ferrymoth doing a good job distracting them. So Judgment is going to be facing in the opposite direction, depending on when Disidicus decides to strike here. This could be a fatal blow against the Skyborne Rangers. I think they're probably waiting for the Strom Thunder to move forward a little bit so the Disidicus can safely engage the Snortsuit in a 1v1 scenario. Because again, as soon as the Disidicus' armor goes down, Red Stormbreaker is just going to die. And there goes Strom Thunder, so Disidicus has taken this opportunity to move in, but Strom Thunder sees them. They're backing up again to contest. Here, starting off with light flax for some reason. Hwacha coming out. One engine disabled. Finished off by the Artemis. And there you go. Armor's down. So they tried it. They waited for the Strom Thunder, but Strom Thunder was ready to defend their ally. But now Ferrymoth going in big light flak connections on the Strom Thunder. 90% permahull gone. Another armor break as well. But Snortsuit finally able to engage the Minotaur, prevent the Squid from finishing their kill. You see some Defiant Light Flax there coming out at the end, but Blue Team can at least take solace in the fact that they've put 1 point on the board and managed to win this fight. At least do enough damage to force the Ferrymoth away. Now, unfortunately, Strom Thunder has been put in the same position that Disidicus was in earlier. And so, even though Skyborne Rangers did get the kill on the Red Stormbreaker gets to go into the fight with full health. And that's going to be a big problem here. Or Blue. And once again, Red Team is continuing to play the split formation. Making sure that the Snortsuit is only able to focus one target. That is one of the disadvantages of the Judgment, is it does not have very fast turning mobility. So if you're attacking your opponents from two different angles, the Judgment is not going to be able to change targets very quickly if it needs to. So Ferrymoth keeping them occupied, and they're very smartly using this piece of terrain, just kind of focusing. They're kind of jumping back and forth, putting out some Artemis shots, seeing if they can get any free gun disables. Well, the Desiticus lies in wait. Desiticus very slowly... I mean, take a look at the blue team's perspective here. Desiticus very slowly inching towards the Skyborne Rangers. And they are spotted, so not going to be any surprises here. This is a pretty open area of the map, not a lot of clouds, so Desiticus is going to have to, whatever they do, when they decide to charge in, they're going to have to be very quick about it, because they're not going to have much time before blue team is able to react. And it looks like red, at least for the time being, Legio Lepidoptera may be abandoning their flank play, as Fairy Moth and the Desiticus now reunite behind the one piece of terrain, although Desiticus keeping a much lower position of verticality. Desiticus is poking forward a little bit, already spotted. Seems like this is the opportunity. They're pumping moonshine, so here they go. Fairy Moth coming in as well. Desiticus is going to be coming in low, moonshine up. I wonder who their target is going to be. Seems like it's going to be the Stromsunder, still heavily damaged from the last fight. If we get an armor break here, that's going to be game over for the Skyborne Rangers, but Stromsunder desperately trying to stay on the weak side of the Desiticus, unable to do so. We're going to have a Hwacha barrage in just a moment here. Gatling on the Squid having a little bit of difficulty tracking their target, although 2 engines on the Stromsunder are down. The armor's burning, armor's down. If any explosive shots connect here, it's game over. But a very fast rebuild on the blue Stormbreaker. Snordstoop, you got to save your ally. They're struggling. Still got 2 engines down, the Stromsunder. But the armor pretty healthy. Desiticus has been forced to now engage the Snordstoop. And at least for the time being, the match is going to continue. Both the red ships now running from the Stromsunder, perhaps going to try to dual focus the Snordstoop. Desiticus now rising up, trying to get the rear of the Judgment. Positioning is a little bit off, but they do get a good Hwacha barrage, Hwacha connection onto the guns. Although only taking down the one gun on the Judgment. And now Stromsunder got a big armor break on the Desiticus. Look at that! Artemis shots at close range, able to finish off the red Stormbreaker. And now Fairy Moth probably has to disengage yet again. Wait for their ally to spawn back in. So good fight for the Skyborne Rangers. They gave up about 40% permahull on the Snordstoop, but surprisingly enough, I am very impressed. We got some fast armor rebuilds, good tanking on the Stromsunder there. Several armor breaks during that fight that potentially could have been the end of the match, but they weathered the storm. They're still here. All they have to do, if they can win one more fight, we will have a tie game. It's going to be tough, but it's certainly doable. Desiticus has taken the western spawn, gotten behind blue team's positioning. Fairy Moth charging forward. They're a little bit far out, but it seems like they're going to engage on the Stromsunder in a second here. No, dual focus. Fairy Moth being a little bit indecisive. Seems like going to be a dual focus on the Snordstoop. Judgment not fast enough to evade any of this fire. Armor goes down. Armor's rebuilt. 20% permahull left on the blue Judgment. Stromsunder is doing what they can to force the Desiticus away. Snordstoop's balloon is down as well from the light carronade of the Desiticus. And next armor break might be it for the blue Judgment. It is Fairy able to pick up the kill and the 5th point. The Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan will be moving on to the winners finals. Play against the Fancy Cloud Dancers. Skyborne Rangers will be seeing a little bit later in the tournament.